Alright, so we have finished all of the classic Game & Watch games titles of Gallery 4. Now for the modern. Let's get modern! So first, let's just talk about how this works. So the modern versions of the Game & Watch games are, generally speaking, smooth moving versions of them. Here you can see we've got, like, the toad is bouncing across, we've got fire. It's still the same basic idea of fire, but the toad there is moving very smoothly rather than being in discrete spots where it, ticks through. Also, this has other characters. It's not just Toad. There are Toad, Yoshi, and Donkey Kong Jr., and they all fall at different speeds. They all bounce at different heights as they're falling down. You can see here Yoshi doesn't bounce quite as high, so it's a little harder to, react to the Yoshi. But otherwise, it's mostly the same. At 200 and 500, you don't get all of your misses cleared. You get a heart that spawns, and when you pick it up, when you catch it, you clear one miss, but you also get one at 700 points now. So that's like the basic gameplay differences of Fire Modern. You've got different characters, and the way that you clear misses is slightly different. There's also eggs.
Eggs?
They're Yoshi eggs. When you catch a Yoshi egg, it can hatch into a moon, and then you get the moon in, and that is 5 points, which is a little weird. Also, at 200 points, time advances to dusk.
Oh dear. And
then at 400 points, it advances to night. And then at 600, it's the next day. So, this is different and interesting and weird. When you miss a character, the Toad runs off crying there, and we get specifically a Toad miss. And when Yoshi hits the ground, Yoshi's all dizzy and woozy and wounded. And when Junior hits the ground, Junior's his bum hurts. He's got a hurt bottom. And look at how angry he is in the miss there. He's very disappointed in you. Sometimes the egg will hatch into a bomb. You actually don't want to catch the bomb, because if the bomb gets into the carriage explodes, and all of the people you saved are panicking now, and you get a bomb miss. So you want to let the bomb drop on the ground. You don't get any points for catching a bomb, you don't get any points for dropping a bomb, you just need to let it drop. You also don't get a miss for dropping an egg. It'll just hit the ground and you don't get any points for it. Same with a moon, you can let that hit the ground and it'll be fine, but moons are worth a lot of points to catch, is the thing. And here, as I was mentioning, at 200 points, Peach comes and kisses a heart out to you, and if you catch the heart, you clear one miss. If you don't catch the heart, then you've lost your opportunity to clear the miss. It just falls and goes away. And something I want to point out in this one, you see that in the background?
Mm-hmm.
There's a paratrooper flying by in the background. During dusk, you get a Goonie that flies by in the background. Kind of flying by there.
Mm-hmm.
And at night, you get shooting stars. So that's all of the interesting things, gameplay-wise and view-wise. Now for what the hell is actually going on story-wise.
So, the last time we saw this game...
Game & Watch Gallery 1.
Yes. We surmised that what was going on is that there was clearly some kind of diplomatic summit happening.
Yeah, they called a diplomatic summit to make the Kongs answer for their wartime atrocities.
Right. And during this summit, some sort of fire broke out. Possibly caused by Bowser, I believe we...
It was definitely caused by Bowser. He hid Bob-ombs in Yoshi eggs as, planting bombs in the castle to destroy it.
Yeah. And, we determined that, Junior, being extremely brave, continued to rush back into the castle to save delegates, and that's why he kept coming back out. This time, if we are to believe that this is a separate incident,
And I do believe so. I'll explain that in a moment.
if this is in fact a separate incident, I think this is a different cause. I think this is a different source of terrorism altogether. You see, if this is again a diplomatic summit, what are they coming together on? Like, what major events have happened recently?
Well, there was the kidnapping on Isle Delfino. The debut of Bowser Jr. That's the really big one.
Right, so mostly there's just sort of standard political goings-on that people just need to be informed of these things. What I find interesting about this, however, is that Junior is there after, at this point, the Kong Isles have fully militarized, and after Donkey Kong, the leader of the Kong Isles, has been gravely insulted by a Mario Party, receiving terrible, terrible birthday gifts.
Oh, man. Yeah! Even Bowser insulted him so hard, just giving him a questionable object.
I think in this case...
By the way, hard mode, nothing new, it's just faster, there's more higher spawn rate.
I think in this case, Junior is not an innocent civilian rushing back in to save things. I think he's keeping the fire going.
I am not certain about that. Everything that we have seen thus far of Junior suggests that he's just a really nice guy. But then again, yeah, it could be that, So, first of all, let me explain that I definitely think this is a new incident, because the first time when we saw this in Game & Watch Gallery 1, the eggs contained stars, and this time they contain moons, and I don't exactly know what that means. I think perhaps the princess and the Mushroom Kingdom is looking into different celestial power sources after their experiences with the Shine Sprites. Now that they've seen, there's these solar-powered celestial objects that aren't just, the stars. What if we looked at moons? What if we tried to look at that? And we have this weird moon thing that happens to be in the castle. That is perhaps maybe why it's being attacked? Or perhaps part of the reason why this particular one of Peach's many castles was attacked? Now, when I was playing through this, I was originally thinking, okay, we now have the paratroopers flying by in the background, so that probably suggests, this is another attack by Bowser's forces. It's more of like an invasion force rather than just a bombing run. But yeah, it could be that Bowser is being framed by the Kongs.
Right, and the paratrooper, note that there's only the one of them,
Every
is
so
just
often,
scouting.
yeah. So anyway, we've got a bunch of stars. So here's a bomb sweeper, a seriously smoking puzzle game.
Don't smoke around Bomb Sweeper.
This Game & Watch only uses the cross-control pad, so you can even play it
What?
with the one hand tied behind your back.
Don't do that. It'd be hard to hold.
Can you solve all those puzzles so easily?
That's kind of threatening, Mr. Game & Watch.
So our fifth museum title is Bomb Sweeper. So we'll see that when we get to there.
When we walk into the void.
But first, when you get 1,000 points on a modern game, you unlock very hard difficulty for the modern version of that game. It basically starts out at the same speed that you'd get at 1,000 points on hard mode.
Oh dear.
So...
Oh dear, that's a lot.
Yeah, I find this very fun to do. Just start out at the fastest speeds and see how it goes. But anyway, while we see this, let's continue discussing, because I do like that idea that this is the Kongs are perhaps angry at everybody, attacking the castle to get back at Peach and Mario and the others, and framing Bowser to get back at him. And Junior's involvement might be... he may not know that it's a Kong plot, or he might be going along with it just because... I don't know.
They did insult the Kong family.
Yeah, but also, like, the Mushroom Kingdom hasn't really done anything against the Kongs themselves directly, so I'm not sure about Junior's direct involvement as part of the attack.
I suppose it depends on the timeline of when these games within Game & Watch come.
Like, it's entirely possible that, like, the diplomatic conference was called, and this was, discussing Bowser Jr., and perhaps, without informing their delegate, the Kong's DK organized this attack because he's kind of a hothead. We'll have to think about this more, and we'll definitely discuss it in further detail the next time we do a recap.
Indeed.